Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. The question is, Deontay Wilder has returned. And now that he's returned, some of the same problems that existed before this man decided to take time off after that last Tyson Fury fight, some of the same problems persist. And it's people who are just hating on Deontay Wilder. And, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know why people hate this man. I don't understand. And I'm not biased. I try to see things with an open mind. But to be honest with you, I'm not fully comprehending on why a person would hate Deontay Wilder. I've been reading some of the comments of what people are saying, and people are really not being nice. They're saying some of the things are fair, where, you know, some people have a right to question some of his opponents early in his career. I still think that's a reach, but, you know, hey, if you want to talk about his first 20, 25 opponents, whatever. You know, the man was working on the job, he's working on the job, getting his experience. But if you want to say things about he felt like maybe he didn't fight the best opposition, he only had a right hand, you know, okay, that's your opinion. He's just getting by without any true skill, that's your opinion. But when you start talking about, you know, his race and stuff like that, and saying bad things about his daughter, his family, suggesting that he's not intelligent, you know, those are the things that I just don't understand. And I'm trying to understand. I said, okay, before I get, you know, agitated, because if you follow this channel, you know, I call it like I see it, okay? But I root for Wilder, and I root for all these boxers, especially when they, you know, when the children are involved and there's a storyline attached to the child. You know, that I get into that, okay? And maybe it's because I have 4 kids and they're all 4 sons, and I think when you have kids, for most people, there's something that opens up in you. And when you think, if you ever doubted whether you could really love, really truly know what love feels like, man, shit, have a child. And I think for majority of people out there, that changes you. I think the birth of a child and loss of a loved one, when you wake up the next day, the world doesn't look the same. So when it comes to Deontay Wilder, any of these fighters, and especially when they have a storyline about the child, you know, I get into that. So I'm always rooting for him. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here, man, and, you know, and just be totally biased to him, you know, if I don't feel that he's worthy of praise. But that being said, I just don't understand how people hating him and so quick to attack him, call him a bum, say that, you know, Tyson Fury should have killed him in the ring. I mean, all kind of craziness. He's just coming back for money. He won't win the next couple any more fights. His best days are behind him, and which means he's never had any great days. He just got lucky. He's a dumb country bumpkin from Alabama. This man didn't return to the sport of boxing to hear everybody come and say a bunch of craziness. Now, my thing is, if you're going to say something about him, well, let's talk facts, okay? Say something factual. Well, you know, don't just attack him. Why? Okay, one guy was saying, I don't like the fact that he said he wants to come in the ring and kill people. He wants a body on his record. Okay, I could understand that. It's a little harsh, what he was saying. And I think Deontay Wilder, in a sense, hurt himself when he said he wants to get a body on his record. And when some of these guys were interviewing him, try to get him to clarify, and they even suggest that They suggest to Deontay Wilder during the interview that they don't believe he actually wants to kill somebody. He's just saying he wants to hit him that hard. He's just, for emphasis, saying, I'm going to hit you. I'm trying to kill you in the ring. That means that's how passionate he is about winning, but he doesn't really want to kill someone. What Deontay Wilder has messed up in the past is he said, no, I really want to kill somebody. I really want a body on my record. And if that's why someone doesn't like him and they can't get beyond it and they hate him, I can understand that. But not many people mention that when they just start shredding him. It's more along the lines of, his race, him being from Alabama, the fact that he's made money that he didn't deserve, which is crazy to me. Okay? And I'm not saying, now this happens to other fighters too. And that's why I just don't understand why people get caught up with the whole race bullshit, man, and religion bullshit, and gender bullshit, and economic status crap, and political affiliation bullshit. Like, why is that a reason to hate somebody? You know what I mean? That's stupid to me. Now, if the whole thing about killing someone, if you got an issue with that, I get it. But I read a few comments, right? And there's one guy posted a comment where he was saying that he doesn't feel a lot of people hate Wilder. He feels that those who dislike him, he feels that it pretty much comes one-sided as far as race. And I have to say, no, that's not the case. I think it's a combination of people who are out here saying horrible things about him. And there are some who will kind of try to, justify what they're saying. But the others, they're not. They just get on here and just spew ignorance, spew hate. And it's not a specific race, okay? It's like a little fried rice. It's a combination, okay, of people who are doing this. But I think if you know any boxer's personal battles, personal struggles, I think if you really understand that, I think the majority of people will stop seeing race, will stop seeing gender, will stop seeing their religion, will stop seeing their political affiliation, will stop seeing their economic status. When you really understand their struggles, their battles, what they had to endure, the reasons for why they're boxing, the reason for why they're doing what they're doing, the reason for why they make certain decisions or behave the way they behave. When you understand their personal battles, it makes them more relatable. And I think for the most part, the majority of people have, for the most part, swayed more to the side of being more relatable, feeling that they can relate more to Deontay Wilder, opposed to how they may have felt initially, like they disliked him. He was arrogant, vicious, on the edge, not a good ambassador for the sport of boxing because of some of the things he was saying. Just sounded like, super violent and just super destructive. And I truly feel that. But there's still a few out there who, just won't get this man any respect. Now, that third fight with Fury, most people, except for those who just want to, hold on to whatever it is that's weighing them down in their life and keeping them miserable, to be honest with you, I don't see how anyone cannot respect Wilder and cannot respect Fury. Forget the first fight between Wilder and Fury. Forget the second fight between Wilder and Fury. That third fight, what those two guys put themselves through mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, what they put themselves through in that fight, man. And you'll still sit here and have something horrible to say about them as far as their heart, their commitment to boxing, their will to birth a victory amidst whatever they're going through in that ring. That shit that Wilder and Fury went through in that third fight, that shit was extreme violence. Extreme violence. both of them wanted to win. It is what it is as far as what happened, right? But both of them wanted to win. And Fury wasn't going to let anything Wilder did in that fight tear him down and stop him from moving forward. Wilder wasn't going to let anything Fury was doing tear him down and stop him from moving forward. They both put their best foot forward, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Fury got the victory. But both of those guys showed something in that ring. They're cut from a different cloth. You don't just put yourself through that kind of pain and punishment unless you're built differently. And Deontay Wilder, this is about Deontay Wilder, but Tyson Fury too, but Deontay Wilder's built differently, man. So I just think it's only fair to give that man some credit. But in addition to all of that, he's one of the most inspirational stories in boxing. That's why this man walks around with a smile on his face. He really hasn't taken any damage except for the Fury fights. And we want him to go down as one of boxing's greatest fighters. Not for being a guy who's in Fight of the Years, okay? When you're in Fight of the Year, that means that there was some serious leather being tossed around that ring. That's not what you want to see for most of these fighters, especially a guy like Wilder. You want Wilder to really, with Malik Scott, work up great game plans where he can come in there, increase his boxing output, learn how to mask the right hand, because not everybody knows the right hand is there. But learn how to mask it, learn how to hide it. And then take little to no damage and get the wins, by KO. But will he be able to do that going forward? That's the thing. Because everyone knows the secret's out. If he hits you with that, you're out of there. Well, they saw what he did to Tyson Fury, especially in that third fight when he hit him, and you saw the damn shockwaves go down from his head, through his shoulders, through the fat on his chest and his obliques. That was crazy. So the secret's out the bag, and there's some things Wilder's going to have to work on. But if you don't understand what I say, well, this man's one of the most inspirational stories in boxing. Olympic bronze medalist, man, after 1 year of boxing training. That's crazy. That's crazy. The highest KO percentage in boxing history. That's crazy. He's only one of four. This is what I don't think some people realize. One of only four professional heavyweights to defend their belts 10 times. Now, this is information I found on the internet off of several sites, so if something's off beam, it don't attack me. But it is what it is. One of only four professional heavyweights to defend the belt 10 times. He refused to quit in all of his fights and found a way to win and almost pulled it off every time he fought Tyson Fury. In the first fight, he almost got him out of there. Some say he did. It is what it is. That second fight in that first round, he caught him with a good shot, but Tyson Fury pushed through it. That third fight, he hurt Tyson Fury. He knocked him down twice, but there were other rounds where if there was more time, there was a couple of times in the middle of the rounds he hurt him, but Wilder was just winded, man. But he hurt Fury. And there were other times towards the end of the round where he hurt Fury badly, and Fury made his way back to the corner. So he almost was able to just push through those spots where he wanted to quit because Tyson Fury was putting him through hell. He almost was able to push through it and stop Tyson Fury, but he wasn't. There's only been one man that's been able to really stop Wilder, and I would even say stop him in his tracks, but it wasn't easy getting Wilder out of there. Wilder, honestly, man, I think Wilder was ready. You hear boxers say they're willing to die in the ring. I think on that night, when he was fighting Fury, especially that third fight, Wilder fought. There was nothing else that man could have done. Nothing. And you just don't see many fighters do that. You just don't see that, man. No stopping him. He was telling him, like, no, don't stop the fight. That shit was like Apollo Creed and the Russian, where it was like, stop it. And Apollo Creed was like, no. And he went back out there and he went down the same way. He just didn't get killed, but he was close to it. So I don't see how a person could want to still hate on Wilder. Isn't that what we as boxing fans want to see? We want to see guys get in there, man, and entertain us like that and really go out on their shield. He does that, and then we hate him for that. That's crazy. What has aside of the comments that he made, right, about wanting to get a body on his record? Okay, I think we all understood what he's saying. But if you have an issue with that, I think that's fair. But outside of that, what has he done to make you hate him? That's all I'm asking. What has he done? I follow boxing. I don't catch everything, but I'm just trying to understand what is it that he's done to make you hate him. Does he talk about gay people? Does he bash women? What's he doing? Is he an alcoholic? Is he out here getting arrested? You know, that's all I'm saying. You know, so if we're not gonna sit here and be fair, then we need to stop and look at ourselves in the mirror, man, and reassess. Deontay Wilder, him returning to boxing, if you guys are talking about it, then that means he's doing something right. You know, that means Deontay Wilder is definitely doing something right. Also, man, when you look at Deontay Wilder, you look at boxers, you look at what Deontay Wilder was able to do. You could say he had limited skills when he became a professional, right? His dimensions helped him in the Olympics, helped him to go on and win a bronze. He became pro. You know, he had the basic fundamentals, but his skill set was limited compared to a guy like AJ, who may be, to me, the most fundamentally sound heavyweight boxer. And Usyk is another one, but he does not have those skill sets, right? And that's a fact. But with his limited skills, okay, let's just call it like it is. This man was able to obtain the most prestigious title in all of boxing. You know, and we gotta recognize what he was able to do. That everybody wants a WBC belt. Doesn't matter what weight class you're in. Everybody wants one. Okay, so now what is this thing here popping up? There we go. So what Deontay Wilder was able to do, I don't see how we can sit here and say, well, he fought nobodies. And hey, man, look, it's not his fault that a Povetkin tested positive for, banned substances. You know, he was supposed to fight Povetkin. Povetkin caused that fight to fall out. He's supposed to fight Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz caused that shit to fall out because of whatever substance he had in him. But he came back and got in there with Ortiz twice when he didn't have to, and many people told him not to. Okay? So I get it, what people want to do, but you can't sit there and be mad at him because he blasted Bermane Stiverne. The Bermane Stiverne that Deontay Wilder fought, especially in that first fight, that's the Bermane Stiverne that had just beat the shit out of Areola. That Bermane Stiverne was an animal. And that rematch with Areola, I remember watching that and I was thinking, who is this guy from Haiti? Who is this Bermane Stiverne? Because I had never heard of him. And I knew Areola, of course, but I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, man, he is giving Areola the business. Areola does not look comfortable in that fight. And in the second fight between Bermane Stiverne and Areola, I was like, this guy's a problem. So when I found out he was fighting Wilder, I was like, this isn't going to end good for Wilder. At least I thought. And Wilder came out there, man. You can tell he showed he could box. That Larry Holmes-like jab, man. And, you know, boxing with intelligence, using his reach, using his range, and then hiding the right hand, dropping it on Stiverne. So you can say what you want. He deserves some credit. But we understand some of his fighters were, maybe less successful than some of the top tier guys, but everybody goes through that. Okay, but even for Deontay Wilder, we get it. Skill set, not the same as some of these other guys in his weight class, the top heavyweight fighters. But he accomplished so much with that. And we talk about the money he's made. How can a person say he doesn't deserve the money he's made? Why? Because he's a Southern guy from Alabama, and you probably question his intelligence because he got that Southern draw. That's wrong, man. You're wrong. I don't understand how people can just do that. That's wrong. How can you sit there and question someone's intelligence because they have a little accent? Whether you're from, Europe, Africa, North, South America, you understand? What does it matter? It's just crazy to me. Australia, Antarctica, Asia. It doesn't matter what continent you're from. How can you sit there and question somebody, what part of the world you're from? Question someone's intelligence based on their accent, their vocal signature. That's crazy to me. But at the end of the day, what he came here for was to make sure he could take care of his daughter, man, beyond her imagination. And he's definitely able to do that, And with such a noble cause, you can think what you want about him when it comes to boxing. But when you think about that reason for him even coming into boxing and what he was able to do by fast-tracking his success by just being committed, because of what he wanted to provide for his daughter, how can you still find ways to be nasty towards him? Okay? I just don't get it. I just don't get it, man. And I'm trying to understand, but some people say he's goofy. Maybe he is a little goofy. Some people say that he can be negative at times. When he turns into the bronze bomber, right, the superhero, he says some pretty wild stuff. You don't have to like it. I don't think that's a reason to hate him, but it's your opinion. But with where he is today and everything he was able to do, inside the ring, outside the ring, look, the man has a damn statue in Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They're not just going to go and erect a damn statue of a Deontay Wilder type person in damn Alabama if there wasn't a bit more to him opposed to just being a great fighter. He really loves being from Alabama, Tuscaloosa. He loves people. This man grew up with a very religious family. He has good in him. He has good in him, man. And there aren't many people like that. But I get it when it comes to the comment about wanting a body on his record. Outside of that, I don't know. I mean, people think, man, he's delusional. There was no foul play in any of those fights with Fury. Okay, maybe you can be annoyed with him on that. But at the same time, I would say, well, let's kind of take a look at the situation and how things have unfolded. Look what the hell's going on with Tyson Fury right now. You know what I mean? So maybe there's something there. You know what I'm saying? So if you were hating Deontay Wilder all along because of the costume claims and his trainer had the black buckle like Panama Lewis in that Aaron Pryor Arguello fight, the black buckle, give me the black buckle. If you were hating on Deontay Wilder because you felt that all that was bullshit, right? Well, then stop and just for a second take the emotion out and try to understand what's going on right now. How's Deontay Wilder doing? How's his life going? And nothing changed for him. That man can go anywhere in the world. What can Tyson Fury do? I ain't saying Tyson Fury did anything. What I'm saying is, if you dislike Wilder or hated him for all of those where you feel excuses for losing to Fury, especially in the second fight, at this point, at least to me, you should stop and say, all right, maybe I should at least have an open mind. That's all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, I don't have any beef with Wilder. And when he first was talking all that stuff in that second fight, even I was like, man, people were ripping me left and right. That was last year before YouTube gave me the business, but I'm back in effect. Even I was like, I don't know about that. Because it's just hard for me to, it's got to be right in my face, you know what I'm saying, for me to go and jump on. I'm not a bandwagonist. just because somebody says something, I'll jump on it. But I do feel that people need to cut this man some slack. I honestly do. And to rip him for the opponents he's fought, okay, whatever. Gerald Washington, you got an issue with that? Whatever, man. Stavern, somebody has an issue with that? Whatever, okay? It doesn't matter. He fought damn Tyson Fury 3 times. Did he lose all 3 fights? Some people say he lost it. He lost all the fights. He never stood a chance. It is what it is. Other people are going to say, hey, man, he would have won those fights if they weren't fixed. It wasn't foul play involved. People are going to have an opinion. But what I would say is this. Out of all the heavyweights out there, who's the top heavyweight right now? It's Tyson Fury. Who fought Tyson Fury 3 times? Deontay Wilder. So how can you sit there, man, and hate this man and say he's ducking people and say he doesn't want to fight the best? Well, he didn't even have to fight Tyson Fury. Oh, well, that was a cherry pick. He thought Tyson Fury wasn't going to be in shape and show up to fight. Well, he fought him 2 more times. So I think Deontay Wilder deserves credit, and I don't think he should be hated on. That's just me, man. I just don't see it. He's a good example. He does a lot for people, a lot for the community. This man ain't asking for anything. The only thing I have to say about Deontay Wilder, and this isn't negative, this is just me looking at boxers and trying to understand why they're boxing. Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, shouldn't be returning to no damn ring. He has nothing to prove. But it's cool to have him back. I'm going to watch it. Tyson Fury, he keeps yo-yoing everybody about the retirement shit. I'm going to watch Tyson Fury. I'm going to fight them all. If Vladimir Klitschko gets beyond all this shit going on between Ukraine and Russia and he returns to boxing, I'm going to watch Vladimir. I love boxing. But we shouldn't be hating on these fighters, man. Nah, we shouldn't. Everybody loves Lomachenko, right? Lomachenko comes back after everything he was going through. And he's fighting a nobody, a no-name guy. And Lomachenko's a bad boy, don't get me wrong. But Deontay Wilder, you won't give him credit, though, for going there and having 3 fights with Tyson Fury. Earl Spence, after a crazy car accident, issues with his eye, comes back, fights Danny Garcia, comes back, supposed to fight Pacquiao, comes back, fights Ugas. But nobody going to give them the kind of credit, respect they're giving Lomachenko. And Lomachenko's a bad boy, but he needs a tune-up. So Deontay Wilder didn't want no damn tune-up. He wanted to go straight. And a lot of people advised him to not go into that damn rematch with Fury, especially the second one because of how Fury was outboxing him. And then the third fight, they were like, let it go. But he wanted to get in there and to try to get revenge or whatever. But I just think really look at what he's doing, man. It's commendable, and I think it's worthy to be lauded. And that's all I'm saying. But stop hating on him because of his race. Stop hating on him because he's always talking about being anointed and blessed, and people putting the juju on him and all that, whatever the shit he says. Stop, man. Don't say anything. Stop the hate about his daughter and stuff like that, and talking about he just throws that out there because he wants people to feel sorry for him. That's crazy when people talk like that. So then Tyson Fury, you know what I mean? So then Luis Ortiz, you know what I mean? So even any of these fighters who have children and when they talk about it, talk about adoration, or they have a child who's ill. But I don't see how a person could see something negative in that. I mean, you're toxic, man. Really. Talk like that about somebody who has, the children. But I don't think I have too much left to say, man. I read through a lot of comments. Some of it I'm not even going to get to, but there's just a lot of things being said about this man, and it's all just horrible. Horrible. And when the good stuff, when they say it, is good. And there's some people, like I said, they say, hey, I don't like him because of this comment that he said. And I just thought that was, inappropriate, unfair. It shouldn't come from someone, especially when you put in like a top 1% position like him as being a heavyweight champion of the world. And, when you talk, people listen, people hear. So you really have to be aware of that. And I don't think he really had that awareness. He has it now, because the reason he's coming back is solely because he feels that he's there to inspire and motivate people. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if he's doing so well outside of boxing, like he says, if he's really not inspired and motivated to come back to really keep winning, to keep inspiring and motivating people, oh well, he gonna learn real quick when he get in there with the Finland's finest, Hellenius, because that's no easy damn fight. But it doesn't matter, win, lose, whatever. Deontay Wilder deserves some respect. Put some respect on the man's name. Stop hating on him. Stop hating on him. Unless you know, I don't know of anything negative about that man. Negative. It's like Obama. Obama and Trump, okay? You got Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury is Trump. And I'm not saying it because it has nothing to do with race. What was Obama caught up in when he was in office? And like Wilder being in office, having the title. What shit was Obama caught up in? What shit was Trump caught up in? All kind of stuff, legal issues, problems, right? Now, Deontay Wilder and Fury, same thing. What shit was Deontay Wilder caught up in? What was Fury caught up in? Now, maybe there's some stuff out there I don't know of. I don't know. But I know when you look at it, if we're going to praise one, I think we should be looking at them holistically, you know, and just try to strip the emotion back. That's what I do. And when you look at it like that, man, it's kind of hard to me to understand why somebody would hate on him. Just he returned to boxing, so now we decided to attack him and say he sucked. Tyson Fury almost killed him. He should have killed him. He doesn't deserve to make the money he's making. He's dumb. He's from the South. Blah blah. That's crazy. Get that man some respect. And I wish him the best of luck in his return. I'm gonna do some more videos on him because the one thing I'll say about Deontay Wilder is I'm not completely sold on his return and him being having that same mentality. I'm not really sold on them wanting to make him to be this float like a butterfly, sting like a bee type boxer. That is not Deontay Wilder, man. I'm not saying he can't evolve into something better, but I just don't think that's it. And but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to him returning to the ring. But at the end of the day, when I say why is Deontay Wilder hated? There's no reason for that man being hated. It's just people being miserable as hell and having nothing better to do but sit here and take jabs at somebody that really aren't warranted, in my opinion. With that being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to the veterans. I appreciate the support. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're gonna have like this type of topic, but we'll get everybody to come and chime in, and we'll see how far we can take this, man. But more to come on Wilder, man. I'm gonna be doing more videos on this guy now that he's back, good and bad. And if he does something crazy, I'll be covering that shit too because that's what we do here. That being said, y'all keep cool, and as always, I'm in the breeze.